everyone. For today's video, I would like to talk about Chapter 10, Application Layer Summary. So, it's composed of application layer protocols consisting of application, presentation, and session. Also, how application protocols interact with end-user applications. Well-known application layer protocols and services consisting of web and email protocols, IP addressing services, file sharing services, and now application layer presentation session. Application layer. Application such as web browsers, online gaming, chatting with and emailing friends enable us to send and receive data with relative ease. So next one is presentation. And also for application layer, the application layer is closest to the end user. It is the layer that provides the interface between the application used to communicate and the underlying network over which messages are transmitted. Next one is the presentation and session layer. The presentation layer has three primary functions: formatting or presenting data at the device into compatible form of receipt by the destination device. Number two is compressing data in a way that can be decompressed by the destination devices. Number three, encrypting data for transmission and decrypting data upon receipt. Next one is the TCP/IP application layer protocols. The TCP/IP application protocols specify the format and the control information necessary for many common Internet. Communication functions. So next one is the how application protocols interact with end user applications. Number one is client server model. In the client server model, the device requesting the information is called the client, and the device responding to the request is called the server. Client and server processes are considered to be the application layer. The client begins the exchange by requesting data from the server, which responds by sending one or more streams of data to the client. Next one is the peer-to-peer network. Peer-to-peer networks are also known as P2P networking model. The data is accessed from a peer device without the use of dedicated server. The P2P network model involves two parts: P2P networks and P2P applications. Both parts have similar features, but in practice work quite differently. Next is the peer-to-peer application. A P2P application allows a device to act as both a client and a server within the same communication. Every client is a server and every server is a client. P2P application requires that each devices provide a user interface and run a background service. Last one for this slide is the common P2P application. With P2P application, each computer in the network running in the application can act as a client or a server for the other computers in the network running the application. Common P2P networks include four. Number one is eDonkey, number two is G2, BitTorrent, and also Bitcoin. Next one is the web and email protocols, consisting of hypertext transfer protocol and hypertext markup language. When a web address or uniform resource locator or URL is typed in a web browser, the web browser establishes a connection to the web service running on the server using the HTTP protocol. URLs and uniform resource identifier (URIs) are the names most people associate with the web addresses. Next one is the HTTP and HTTPS. HTTP is the request or response protocol. When a client, typically a web browser, sends a request to a web server, HTTP specifies the messages type used for that communication. The three common messages types are the GET, POST, and PUT. GET, a client request for data. A client or web browser send the GET message to the web server to request HTML pages. Number 2 is the POST. Upload data files to the web server, such as from form data. PUT. Uploads resources or content to the web server, such as an image. Next one is the email protocols. One of the primary services offered by an ISP is an email hosting. To run a computer or another end device, email requires several application services. Email is a store and forward method of sending, storing, and retrieving electronic messages across a network. Email messages are stored in database or mail servers. SMTP operation. The SMTP messages format require a message header and a message body. While the message body can contain any amount of text, the message header must be properly formatted, recipient email address, and sender address. Next one is the POP operation. The POP is used by an application to retrieve mail from a mail server. With POP, mail is downloaded from the server to the client and then deleted on the server. This is how POP operates by default. Last one is the IMAP operation or IMAP. IMAP is another protocol that describes a method to retrieve mail messages. Unlike POP, when the user connects to an IMAP's capable server, copies of the messages are downloaded to the client application. The original messages are kept on the server until manually deleted. Users view copies of the messages in their email client software. Next one is the IP addressing services. One is domain name service. In data network, devices are labeled in numeric IP addresses to send and retrieve data over network. Domain names are created to convert the numeric address into a simple recognizable name. Next one is the DNS message format. The DNS server stores different types of resource records used to resolve names. These records contains the name, address, and type of records. Some of these records types are an end device IP version 4 address, NS, an authoritative name server, 4A, an end device IP version 6 address pronounced as quad A, MX, a mail exchange record. Next one is the DNS hierarchy. The DNS protocols use hierarchical system to create a database to provide names and resolution. The hierarchy looks like an inverted tree with the root at the top and branches below. DNS uses domain names to form the hierarchy. Next one is the NSLOOKUP command. When configuring a network device, one or more DNS server addresses are provided that the DNS client can use for name resolution. Usually, the Internet Service Provider (ISP) provides the address the use of DNS server. When a user application requires to connect the remote device by name, the requesting DNS client queries the name server to resolve the data to a numeric address. Next one is the Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. The Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, DHCP for IP version 4 service, automates the assignment of IP port addresses. Next one is the DHCP operation. Configure device boot up to connect the network. The client broadcasts a DHCP discover message to identify the available DHCP server on the network. File sharing services. is consisting of file transfer protocol and server managed block. File transfer protocol. FTP is another commonly used application layer protocol. FTP was developed to allow for data transfer between the client and server. Next one is the server message block. The server message block, or SMB, is a client-server file sharing protocol that describes the structure of shared network resources such as directories, files, printers, and serial ports. It is a request response protocol. So that's all for application 10 application layer summary. See you for chapter 11. Thank you.